Align learning objectives with digital tools. Reminder: RIC-supported tools are preferred, such as Blackboard, G Suite, and Office 365. If using non-RIC tools, please make sure that they meet the requirements for privacy, they meet the requirements for FERPA, and be no or very low cost for students. There are two major frameworks for learning objectives: Bloom's Taxonomy, Fink's Taxonomy. Bloom's Taxonomy categorized learning objectives into 6 progressive goals: remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, and create. Fink's categorized learning objectives into 6 progressive goals: foundational knowledge, application, integration, human dimension, caring, and learning how to learn. Let's compare Bloom's and Fink's in details. Under Bloom's taxonomy, we have remember and understand. Both of them are very similar to Fink's taxonomy, foundational knowledge. Definition-wise, remember says, retrieve relevant knowledge from long-term memory. It's about knowledge retention. Understand, construct new knowledge from instructional messages such as oral, written, or graphic communications, and this focuses on knowledge transfer. For foundational knowledge, it talks about remember and understand ideas, concepts, terms, and relationships. Next, we will review each type of learning objectives, assessment methods, and its corresponding digital tools. Remember. Retrieve relevant knowledge from long-term memory, knowledge retention. Recommended verbs that make learning objectives measurable under remember are recognize, identify, recall, and retrieve. Common assessments include verifications, true or false questions, matching, match list 1 items with list 2, forced choices such as multiple choices, short answers with cues. Digital tools for remember. Note-taking. Students can take notes and store those files in an online storage and have access anywhere at any time, such as Google Drive or OneDrive. Digitize scanner apps. If a student wants to transform a physical document into a digital document, they can use a scanner app on their phone, such as Scannable or Office Lens. For Office Lens, it is recommended because it can recognize each characters in a physical document and scan them into a Word or PDF file. Searching and researching. When it comes to researching, RIC's library is the #1 resource. And of course, Google. Bookmarking. Students can work either individually or collaboratively to find a website and bookmark them in an online folder. Recommended tools are Google Keep, Padlet. Understand. Construct new knowledge from instructional messages such as oral, written, and graphic communication. Knowledge transfer. Recommended verbs are interpret, clarify, paraphrase, represent, translate, classify, categorize, subsume, summarize, abstract, generalize, infer, conclude, extrapolate, interpolate, predict, compare, contrast, mapping, matching, explain, construct, models. Assessment for understand include construct or rank a response based on questions. Mapping. Explain how each part of one object, idea, problem, situation relates to each other. Comparison. Compare one topic with another. Digital tools for understand. Online quiz and polls. You can build short quizzes for learning check-in, distribute it during a live class, and collect real-time feedback from students. Common tools are Blackboard, Poll Everywhere, Microsoft Forms. QR code scan. Some of your online pollings will generate a QR code. Students have to scan the QR code to access the quiz. Therefore, students need to have a QR code scanner app on their mobile phone. Common QR code scanner apps are Kaspersky's QR scanner, Neo Reader. Mind mapping. Students can build a digital mind map by themselves or collaboratively. Common tools are Wise Mapping, Mind, Master, and of course we have reflections. Blackboard has reflection functions through blogging or journaling. We have WordPress or Twitter. Now let's take a look at application. For Blooms, we have Apply. For Finks, we have Application. Use or select procedurals to perform exercise or solve problems. Have the skills to think, practice, and manage projects. Recommended verbs that makes learning objectives measurable are execute, carry out, implement, use. For assessment, we have demonstrations. Demonstrate the procedurals or process. Problem solve. Given a complex yet familiar task, perform a well-known procedural to solve a problem. Or, let's think about a complicated problems. First, create problem statement, determine or modify the procedurals or conceptual models, then solve the problems. For digital tools, if you wanted to demonstrate mathematics digitally, you can use OneNote. For OneNote, you can handwrite a formula, then OneNote will convert it into a digital formula. If you don't want to write the formula yourself, you can select the formula and just put in the numbers using host math. Infographics and data visualization. You can use Adobe Spark. Adobe Spark is free for all educators, so you can go ahead and create a free account and use their infographic functions. You can also go to Pick to Chart and use their templates. Presentations. Of course, we have PowerPoint. Adobe Spark can also help students to create presentations. Students can use graphs, videos, and charts to create their own presentation videos and share it among their peers. Project management, Teams, and Slack. Teams are strongly recommended because it is supported by the RIC community. Analyze. For Blooms, analyze, evaluate, and create aligns with integrations from Fink's taxonomy. For analyze, break materials into its constituent parts and determine how the parts relate to each other and to an overall structure or purpose. Evaluate. Make a judgment qualitatively or quantitatively based on criteria and standards. Create. Put elements together to form a coherent or functional whole. Reorganize elements into a new pattern or structure not present previously. Integration. Connect ideas, people, and realms of life and relate one subject to another. Recommended verbs that make learning objectives measurable are differentiate, discriminate, distinguish, focus, select, organize, integrate, outline, parse, structure, attribute, and deconstruct. Assessment for analyze include create responses to analyze the similarities and differences between two topics or views, organize informations, or constructed response. Create a description of author's view or intention. Digital tools for analyze: mind mapping, wise mapping, MindMeister. Data analysis: Excels or IBM SPSS. Surveys: Blackboard surveys, SurveyMonkey, or Qualtrics. Evaluate. Recommended verbs that makes learning objectives more measurable are check, coordinate, detect, monitor, test, critique, judge. For assessment, we can test whether or not a conclusion follows from its premises, or test whether or not the data supports a hypothesis, or test whether or not presented materials contradict each other, or, given an operation or a product, check the consistency of actual implementations, or a critique of a proposal to a solution, or critique the reasonableness of a hypothesis, or given a problem and decide whether it is better to do A or B. Digital tools for evaluate. Peer reviews. Blackboard has a peer review function. It allows students to assign a grade to each other. Flipgrid. It allows students to communicate and socialize with each other while providing peer reviews. A similar tool is VoiceThread. Students can comment and record their voices over a PowerPoint or another video. You can create a free account of VoiceThread and link to your Blackboard or any learning management system that you're using. Online debate. Blackboard discussion forum is a good place for online debate asynchronously. To organize the debate and logic, students can use debate graph. Create. Recommended verbs that makes learning objectives measurable are generate, hypothesize, plan, design, produce, construct. Assessment for create. Creation is a long process. Therefore, it is very important to provide students with a clear rubric and a scaffold process. Examples include solution tasks. Create as many solutions as possible to solve a target problem. Design a plan to solve a problem. For example, design a research plan to a given problem. Design task. Create a product meeting criteria or conditions to solve a problem. In terms of digital tools for create, we have blogs, Blackboard blogs, WordPress, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Podcast, we have Podbean, Anchor. Both of them allow you to create and host your podcast. Animations and videos, Edu Creations. This allows you to put together writings, demonstrations, images, videos, voices, and more together very quickly to produce a full-fledged video. And of course, Adobe Spark. Adobe Spark can help students to create their own videos. Screen captures. If you want to record your screens, your first choice is Blackboard Collaborate or Kaltura in your Blackboard. If you wanted to use something else, you can use Screencastify. It is a Google extension. The free version allows you to record each screencastings within 5 minutes each. Interactive content. You can use Adobe Captivate. It allows you to create content and design an interactive path. Creative collaboration. Google Drive. You can use Google Drive to work on any project that deals with words, data, or even pictures. Or if you wanted to design an app or any other visual project, you can use InVision. Project management, we have Teams and Slack. Collaborative Wiki, Blackboard Wiki, Team Wiki, or Google Sites. E-portfolios. You can use Bulb. It is a digital portfolio platform. Or, of course, Adobe Spark. Adobe Spark also allows students to create their own website, and their website can host their works. Here are some unique learning objectives coming from Fink's taxonomy. Human dimension, caring, learning how to learn. Specifically, for human dimension, learning about oneself and others. Understand personal and social implications of knowing about the subject. For caring, develop new feelings, interests, and values. Care about and learn more about the subject. Learning how to learn. Become a better student. Inquire about a subject. Self-directed learner. Learners know how to keep on learning about the subject when the course is over. Digital tools for human dimensions, caring, and learning how to learn are reflections. Observe real-life experiences and reflect and share. Digital tools are Blackboard reflection, such as blog or journal, WordPress or Twitter, blogs, Blackboard blogs, WordPress, LinkedIn, or YouTube. Students can use blogs to discuss how one's life impacts or is impacted by the subject. Here concludes the tutorials. Align learning objectives with digital tools.